Hello and welcome to the All Round Coaching Podcast, episode number 43. We thought myself and Mel would do a little bite-sized podcast while we're on our way to puppy yoga. Say hello, Mel.
We say bite-sized. We'll try and keep it bite-sized because I don't want to be sat in a car park trying to do a podcast while we're in Manchester.
No, so this one, I can't remember what influenced my idea, but it's what social media leads us to believe, and it's probably seeing a few things across that and what people's perception are. So relating it to what I do, obviously in the health and fitness industry, fat loss, transformations, and even down to like working for like ourselves, entrepreneurship. Everybody perceives everything is instant, easy and obtainable straight away. So I'll touch on, obviously, transformations first. That's a big part of what I do. Obviously, prior to me, would you have looked at a transformation and thought, yeah, it's going to be easy to obtain that, or what was your perceptions?
I mean, the 6-week transformations are always something that seemed to come to mind, or the 12-week transformations, so that gives you that impression that granted, obviously 6 weeks is a lengthy amount of time, but it's obviously not a long period in the grand scheme of things, is it? So when you look at those transformations from different, I suppose, 6-week courses, you expect that those transformations are going to be quite simple, easy to achieve and quite quick. You're kind of buying into a success, aren't you?
Yeah, and I think for me, nobody, unless someone has trained previously and they've got a physique underneath and a little bit of experience in training, nobody really obtains anything 6, 8 or 12 weeks. But you'll look on social media and you'll see that transformation. Like, I have had transformations in 12 weeks, but what I do like to mention is this person has trained previously, and obviously I've just brought in a different training style and they've adapted well to it and obviously lost fat to actually see any muscle underneath.
It just gives you that impression though that it's right by the program, turn it around, 6 weeks, bosh, like banging body, which obviously you've got 40 to Elite, which is a 6-week. I think we've kind of like classed it as like an introduction to coaching, isn't it? Essentially.
Yeah, but we reframed it because I'd never sell a transformation in 6 weeks, because it is all independent on the individual, and it does depend on how hard someone will work as well. So I did reframe it because I don't want to sell that idea that you can achieve something absolutely amazing physique-wise in 6 weeks, because generally not many people can.
Yeah, well, a lot can happen in 6 weeks, can't it?
Yeah, you can establish your habits, you can set the foundations, obviously working on your health, getting out moving, getting into exercise, and that's why obviously we did reframe introduction into coaching, and it actually got a lot of people started back exercising, looking after their health and feeling better for it.
But don't be under any illusion on, for example, when you are looking at transformations on social media, the angles, the poses, the lighting, the fucking filters, there's a lot that can be tweaked, tightened and toned just at the touch of a phone screen, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, I'd always say take things on face value. If you've seen on social media, it's mainly influencers that always, mislead people, because obviously they are selling something. Not to discredit anyone, obviously don't go on everyone's transformation and say, oh, it's bollocks this, because a lot of people have worked hard, but influencers are pretty good at bullshitting people, because obviously they're selling a product. So I'd always say to people, don't buy into quick and just put the work in. It does take time and it isn't overnight. Before and after pictures, a lot of work's gone into it. And I think that's why I like to showcase people that have done it with me in 12 weeks, or it's took 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, and even with when you have got a body that you're happy with, it can easily change. It can bloat, it can swell, it can, the time of the month can have a massive effect. So, them transformations, for example, or even just someone looking good in the gym, for example, the angles and the poses, the shot, you can all manipulate something to create an image. So I think we all know now that social media it's all smoke and mirrors, isn't it? It's not what reality is. But yeah, I've fallen foul of it, where you're looking at someone going, oh yeah, she's, they look like they've got a banging body, and oh, I wish I looked like that, why don't I look like that? Whereas, in actual fact, they've probably just hit a really, really good angle, they know how to work the camera. and yeah, they know what they're doing. Whereas, see, I'm just taking mine on a potato, and just hoping for the best, not in the best lighting, no tan on. So yeah, it's just, I think, just reframe, like, just, I think it's just about being happy with your own body rather than looking at someone else's.
Yeah, just set your expectations. Like, don't put unnecessary pressure on yourself to do a full-blown transformation that you've seen on social media in 6 or 8, 12 weeks. It takes time, and you have to think of where your start point is and what you're willing to commit to it as well. And not everything, I'd like to say this, not everything is shown on the scale, so don't just get obsessed with that. If you are morbidly obese, then yeah, you would want to see the scales go down, but for general people, like, it's not the be-all and end-all, so that's my little side note on scale weight there. And a lot of things, obviously, I've noticed, obviously, working for ourselves, a lot of people think we have all this unlimited time, it's easy what we do, and it's social media probably portraying that it's easy to be an entrepreneur now. When you see an overnight success, you think, fucking hell, they're lucky, and this overnight success has took years. Like, obviously, I'm going, is it October? I'll be in my 5th year. I know I'm fast forwarding, but I go at the date I actually officially restarted. So when people think it's easy what we do, and it's the same with you, you've been in your industry, 12 years?
Yeah.
And obviously people are looking at you now thinking, oh, she's lucky, she works for herself, she has all this time.
Yeah, I mean, it is a perception. I put a post out on LinkedIn the other day just to try and trying to disband that illusion that, I mean, for me, my first month has been surprisingly well but, you know, that doesn't mean that it hasn't been difficult. Like, there haven't been late nights, there haven't been a few paddies, there haven't been, like, the highs, the lows, and everything else in between. But obviously what you don't show on social media is the lows, do you?
No, I mean, I do actually try and do both of them, not to be a Debbie Downer on the socials, but I will show both sides. And I think it is hard for me when people think, oh, you've done 4 clients in the gym, like, that's all you do, and then you're off home. Like, they don't see behind the scenes. It'll be the same as what you do. Like, everybody thinks you just do a few hours and you're boxed off. And I think, obviously, there was one night the other week where we both went out. Obviously, we had your pal's pre-wedding meal / hen do to do. Obviously, we didn't drink, but we got in and we were working till 1 a.m. That's probably the side that people don't see, the not so glamorous. But you don't build a business overnight, and it isn't easy to actually build a business, as contrary to what people actually think as well. Because I think I do bite when people wind me up with that.
Yeah, because it is, I mean, obviously I see the backside of it, really, and, like, the stresses, the management of people, you know, everything else that goes with just generally running a business altogether. I have the same not problems, but I have the same kind of challenges with managing clients, managing projects, quoting stuff, like, it's all in your own head as well. So social media obviously kind of depicts this kind of idea of a 10 grand a month, and fucking I'm you know, making 6 figures this year and all of that kind of stuff. But, you know, the reality is that really what's happening? You know, what have they done to kind of get there, and also what have they sacrificed as well? Because it's not always as straightforward as bank all that money in the bank, like, without having put a lot of hard work, energy, and effort into it.
Yeah, it's graft, and I always say, like, I'm not one of these people. I know there's a lot of coaches now, they chase them 20-30k months or turnovers in 2 to 3 months. That's never driven me. Like, I want to be comfortable, but not at the sacrifice of working every single minute of the day, because you can't enjoy your time and your money. And obviously one of my values is connection. I'd lose that if I was chasing them kind of months. So not to be bought in on social media, because I think there is a lot of people now, especially the younger generation, they'll look on social media, see the influence absolutely making a killing just from dancing around on fucking TikTok all day. And that's why I think not many people know a hard day's work now, and they do not know how to graft. And I sound old, but
that is a bold statement.
They do. You get these young girls, like, I'm not going to say it, they'll get a toe out for OnlyFans, and everything is easy and a given, and how it's portrayed. I sound like I hate social media. It's one of my platforms, but it isn't all sunshine and rainbows.
I think it can be very disheartening when you are just at the beginning of your business and you're seeing however many people that you follow on social media going, yeah, I'm smashing it this month, doing absolutely amazing in the business world, like, and you're thinking, well, fucking hell, like, I don't know how you're doing it because it feels like we're in the middle of a bloody recession here. So, like,
Yeah.
how are you getting all this working? What am I doing wrong? Like, am I not good enough? Should I just jack it in? And it's that it becomes quite toxic, really. It can be equally inspiring, but it can be equally downhearting.
Yeah, I've done it, and I think when I was on AFM, I was comparing myself to coaches that had been hammering everything that they're doing for probably going on 8 to 12 months, and after a few weeks, I was like, well, why aren't I getting this? And it's only now that it's took almost a year on for things to actually happen, click in place, and not feel easier, but like I've got all my ducks in a row kind of thing, and it's building it from that.
I think obviously that comes from, though, that it is simply it takes 3 seconds to swipe up, listen to someone's story, and then expect that success. Like, because everything is so instant online. Like, you hear these stories quite instantly, don't you?
Yeah.
Like, you assume that it takes just as long to get to that success. So, not always the case. So, if you are really, I've always been a firm believer, if you really want something, you work hard for it. If you've got passion there, then you'll succeed even more. It just does take time. Like, obviously with what you're doing, starting off on your own brand, like, you've laid the foundations last year for the success, haven't you?
Yeah, and it has took a long time to get it, one, to where it is now, and two, for it to feel a little bit more natural, because I think I literally changed every approach and everything I did.
Yeah.
It wasn't just my prices that had changed, it was investing in myself that had changed. All my platforms, everything I used, templates, social medias. I think it was just a whole revamp on myself and what I do.
Yeah.
So, and it has, do you know what, it has been hard, but it's been worth it at the same time, because obviously I've grown from it, and there'll still be absolutely little wobbles. But I think for me, I spend less time now scrolling through social media, comparing to other coaches, watching. I don't watch as many people's stories anymore. I'm kind of just focused on myself, and I think on a mental health perspective, that helped me massively than sitting comparing myself, thinking I'm not doing this, I'm not getting there, and obviously I was wasting that time comparing when I could just be working on myself.
Yeah, it can really take its toll on your head space sometimes, can't it? Because you are seeing other people out there, and I think it kind of covers off both the body transformations and the business side of it. Is that you almost get that green eye kind of envy, don't you?
Yeah, they do all tie in, and obviously social media links them together. Like, it isn't the worst thing in the world, but I do think it's led people, like the mental health side of things, isn't as helpful. Connections, people talking. Like, we have all these followers, but how many people actually support you? Are they there to watch you win, or are they there to see your demise? Like, I don't know, for me, if I see something, I like to support people and bring them up a little bit. Like, I don't see the need to be horrible, but that's just me. I think there needs to be more nice things on social media than just posting a fucking nice quote out now and again, and then not even being true to that anyway.
Yeah.
So that's my 10
I feel like my Instagram, for example, like, it's probably just got a lot of dogs on it now, so I'm fairly happy with all of that.
There's a dog in a carrier just walking past.
Well,
literally as you said that. No, it's not. I'm gonna have to take a picture of that. But yeah, all I would say with this, don't compare yourself and obviously social media. Just work hard, let your expectations match what you're actually putting in. If you're not working hard, then you aren't going to get anywhere.
Sorry, I'm just laughing at you getting so distracted by a dog.
I did. That's my attention span, that ADHD brain kicking in. But no, we will wrap it up here. Hopefully you found this helpful, because I think a lot of people are quite impatient, not in just regards to the fitness journey, but the business as well. If you work, that time is going to pass, and obviously if you work hard and continue to work hard, still resting and recovering, and not this hustle mentality where you work every fucking minute of the day, you will get somewhere. And obviously, if I can do it, absolutely anyone can, because I am not. I don't think I'm the most smartest person in the world.
Oh, look at that.
And then I'll get a hype gal behind you like I have with Mel as well. That helps. Yeah.
Yeah, I think just to kind of add on to that, I think just consistency across the board really is.
Yeah.
For keep showing up, keep chipping away, and them singular days will soon add up to, massive success. Whether that's through your fitness journey or whether that's through your business or anything else that you get into, you've got to start somewhere. And sometimes the best thing to do is to just start.
Yeah, and you learn as you go. Like I've probably learnt more getting it wrong than I would have getting it right the first time. So it isn't instant. Your health in your business is a continuous project. It isn't 12 weeks and you keep that forever. So it is continuous. So accept that, come to terms with it, and crack on. It isn't overnight, and you don't keep it if you don't keep working at it.
There you go.
So
nice way to finish.
We will leave it there. We'll be back next week. We'll have Jane on as our guest as well, which I am excited to bring her on. She's had a massive journey in regards to her health and working with me, obviously, from a previous brand to my own brand, Susanit 360. So I'm excited to get Jane on next week. We will see you later.
See you later.